Welcome, everyone, to Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures. Get ready for unedited, unfiltered, and unbiased talks with Polly and Kristin, because life is unedited. Are you ready to experience your highest vibrational life, seek truth, and improve your overall wellness? You're in the right place. With tales of psychic experiences and expansive living, we are covering topics that bring the mystical into our everyday lives. Intrigued? Call us now at 1-800-930-2819. We are guiding callers toward their highest expression of self. You get not one, but two psychic life coaches. Your soul's sacred journey to truth is important to us. No question is too big or too small. Stay tuned. You're about to join in on a wild psychic ride. Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures starts now. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures. I'm Kristin, and as always, with me is my good friend Polly. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you and the plant?
You know what? Me and my buddy here are doing just great. There was a little pruning done on my sidekick plant here. I don't know if you can tell. A haircut, if you will.
No, I couldn't tell, but she looks a little standoffish today. She's not in her normal placement. There you go. See?
There we go. All is right in the world.
All is right in the world.
How have you been? I feel like it's been
good.
So long since
it is. But you know what? It hasn't been that long because we talked on the new moon, right? Because
last week.
Yeah. So we talked on the 6th and the new moon was on the 7th, but that's not very long ago.
It's not.
We went through, goals and aspirations.
We did. And I love, this was Polly's idea. Full credit to you. And I appreciate this. We had a little business meeting on the new moon, which is an ideal time to be very clear and welcome in new experiences, new wishes, new manifestations into your world, as opposed to the full moon, where it's more of a releasing vibe. So Polly and I scheduled a business call and did all our plotting and planning and moving forward game plan, essentially, for the new moon. And I love that the timing worked for us like that.
Just throw it on out there. Okay, I have to say something. So you look at the full moon as a releasing. I look at the full moon as an illumination, like when everything just becomes clear, like it's lit up. But it's very funny because people have different ideas of what the different moon cycles, the energy. But I always look at it as like everything is lit up. Like you can't always sleep as well. Everything is just lit up, including your mind. Anyhow,
it totally is. And as you're talking, you know what I think we should do? I think on one of our shows and the upcoming episodes, we should focus not just on the new moon and the full moon, which are all the popular kids, but the other guys.
Yeah, I love it. Because we can also talk about, when you look at the phase that you were born in. I love doing that.
Yeah. What were you born in? That is the
coolest thing. I was waxing crescent.
Okay. I was, I believe, waning. I can never say this word right.
Gibbous?
What is it?
I think, God, don't quote me. I think gibbous.
I always just say it super quick, so nobody
me too. It's like a giblet.
Yes.
A giblet.
The giblet light.
Okay, what's a high vibe moment for you?
Okay, so I have a couple. I'm going to share two. Polly and I like to start the show with a high vibrational moment just to kind of get us on the right track here. I have two I want to share. The first one is my eldest graduated high school. And it was so it was bittersweet. It was all those things come to an end, but yet the beginning. And she was always such a shy little elementary school student. And one of my good friends was actually on the graduation stage. She's an administrator for the school. So she was able to, with her cell phone, get footage of Lauren walking up. And look, this was a big deal because there were almost 800 students in the graduation class. So this is we were in a stadium. There's no way I could have got the footage that my friend got. So she gets Lauren walking up to the stage. And then Lauren makes eye contact with two of her coworkers that are out in the audience. They're not graduating. They just came to watch. And she gives them blow kisses.
Oh, cute.
And my friend got the video from the perfect angle. It was I love that video. I posted it on all the social media that she would allow me to post it on.
I didn't see it.
Oh, well, I'll send it to you because it's out there. Then
Oh,
my second high vibrational moment is my sister came to visit for the big graduation weekend. She didn't arrive in time for the big walk, the ceremonial walk, but we did a full weekend of celebrating my eldest with my sister helping. And my sister doesn't have kids, so these are like her kids in
yeah.
an auntie way. So it was just a weekend of fun. She left last night, and I always get a little bit sad when she leaves, but then I start thinking about all the fun we had. So it was just such a great family, like big milestones were met. So
That's awesome.
vibing very high.
I love that. It feels so good because there's so much. I mean, parenting is like the most rewarding, whatever things you're going to do, most impactful. There's so much packed into being a parent, right?
So much.
And so when you get to celebrate milestones,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, it feels so good.
So good. Yes.
So, because we all know that there's challenges along the way where you're like, oh my gosh, how do I proceed? So when you've got those milestones, it's like, hallelujah, praise Jesus. It feels so good.
Oh, thank you, God.
Yeah, thank you, God. Okay, my high vibe moment. I've had a few, but I think I'll just say that just today, it's like so beautiful and sunny, and I'm packing because I'm going to a concert this weekend, meeting my daughters in Colorado. I know, so I'm super excited because I love music. I love listening to music when I'm outside on the trails. And Zach Bryan, I love his stuff. And so that's what I'm doing this weekend. So packing and planning for that and all that is just, I'm so excited. So excited.
And are your daughters big fans of his as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Very fun. So fun. I think I need to go another one of his concerts in December.
I'm voting yes. Hard
Yeah.
yes on that.
Yeah, like a nice little group. You know what? I went with my lovely real estate agent, who's now a friend. She likes him also. And so when we went for our hike last week, I didn't know it. She videoed me and she put his soundtrack. Oh my God, it was funny looking.
What song did she use? I wonder.
Something about moving, because of course I looked very goofy as I was moving up the trail. So
I think my favorite song of his is right now. It goes back and forth, but right now on heavy rotation is Oklahoma Smoke Show.
Yeah, that's good.
I love that one.
I love. If anybody doesn't know him, listen to Zach Bryan. His stuff is so moving. It's so heartfelt. I mean, that's what I love about it. It's so heartfelt.
Mhm.
So heartfelt.
Completely.
Like, touches your soul. Love
Absolutely.
it. Okay, so and thank you to the person that wrote in, sent a question, which if you guys have any questions about anything, including Zach Bryan, but anything under the sun, send us. You can email us, text us, go through the Instagram. But somebody wanted to know how to work with spirit guides. And it was in particular, like, the way it was worded was very much like, if I want to win the Olympics, can I just tell my spirit guides to make me win the Olympics? And so I have my opinions on how to work with spirit guides, but Kristin, how do you believe? What's your take?
I love this question, and I love that someone wrote in. I love all of this. When I'm working with spirit guides, I always feel like I want to be respectful of my life path. Like there's a certain amount of surrender to me, and I want to feel like God has put me here, and I chose before I came down, like a journey riddled with life lessons, riddled with joy and love and all the good stuff, but some life lessons, and lessons aren't always easy. So I try to keep that in mind and then just directly ask my spirit guides after I go into meditation, because I kind of want to get centered and clear. And then at the end of the meditation, if there's one particular item I'm working on, I ask, like, please help me to gain clarity and purpose and know the next step to become a very profitable Pilates studio. Like, that's very niche for me, but whatever my goal is, whatever I'm trying to manifest, whatever I'm trying to hit, I want to throw that out there and let me know what to do to become that. Because I'm fully aware that there could potentially be some action steps required on my part, and I'm open to that. But I'm just calling on my spirit guides, angels, all divine beings that want to throw me a bone here and show me the next step in order to achieve my goal.
I love that. And I think it's interesting because I think, not for everybody, but I'll speak for myself. The older I get, the easier it is for me to look at things, not just singular, but know that there's a process. Like when you're younger, you look at, I got to get into the right college. I've got to get these classes this semester. My life is going to be crap, right? Like it's so specific. And so the older you get, it's easier to be expansive, right? Because you don't feel like everything is hinging on one thing.
I wonder how much of that is just the freedom you get as being an adult and being on your own and not having a parent or a teacher or a coach hammering down on you. You have to do this. It's almost like you've been gifted freedom to.
Yeah. And maybe it's changing evolutionary, right? Like where people recognize you don't have to just do one thing. And I think it is changing. And so that means like if something doesn't work out, it means that something else will work out. But the way I like to work with guides or angels, but we're talking about guides, is like an expansive, so that it's going to be expansive. Of course, if I'm in some crisis situation, I ask for protection. But say I want something with my business, or we'll say that, then I look at it as they're guiding me, they're sharing energy with me, and it's going to be expansive. And I might not know the outcome, but I ask them to help me be at the right place at the right time, to see the most expansive way, to hear and to know the expansive way, right? And so it's not giving specifics of, I want to win the Olympics. It's more like, yes, I want success, but I also want this to be as expansive for me as possible. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's like you want something specific, but also you're embracing the idea of growth and progression.
Because it's going to go in a way that I humanly don't know. And then
yes.
Another thing is, sometimes, because we're talking about kids, and so say there's something like somebody who's got 3 kids at home and, under 4, and they're just going crazy. And maybe they're struggling with that. And how you can work with your guides there is help me see inspiration in this.
Oh,
help me
good.
Feel inspired in this. Because there are many things that we love that require effort. It's not just laying on the couch eating bonbons and being like, this is glorious. There are many things that we love, but we still have to work our ass off, pardon me. And so ask for the inspiration. Mm-hmm. Ask for the expanded understanding, right? Because
I love that term, expanded understanding, because I think we only know what we know, but we have to maybe consider the idea that we do have limited beliefs, or beliefs that just kind of keep us thinking the way that we've always thought. And as much as we want to be like big picture and think all the things, we need to really recognize that that's probably not what's happening now, but it could be. So I love the idea of asking for it in an expansive way.
Yeah. And if there's somebody, like in this particular question, the person asked about their art, like they wanted to draw a particular thing. And so I would say, yes, you can ask for assistance in that, but you could also ask for assistance in expanding your creative personality or your creativity or whatever. And you might find a completely different art form.
Oh yeah, that's true. So, that would be one of the ways.
You would just be open, but I think, human nature has it where it's safe to glom onto one thing and feel like this one thing is what's going to take me where I want to go.
Yeah. Because
that is human nature, right?
Completely.
Yeah. And I totally get that. Are you kidding?
And I'm sure it served us very well at one time when needed it for survival. Like, okay, I got to hone in on this because it is the way to life. But now we're safer.
Yeah, right. And I think we have a greater understanding of potential.
Yes,
So,
completely. When you do like when you talk to your spirit guides and ask for assistance, do you do a process? Like, do you do it in a meditation before, after, or just
well,
when else?
as you know, my meditation prayer practice, it has now, it takes place in 2 rooms,
You know
but
what? Sometimes we need that.
we do need that. But I always ask, is there a message? But I also every day ask to send, the energy to certain people and to the planet, to all beings, to future generations. So I do not, I don't know that I ask. Yeah, I do ask. If there's something going on, I'll ask my guides and angels, help me get through this. Oh, even driving to Phoenix from Flagstaff. I
That
ask
never a bad idea to ask for some
for
guidance and protection while in a car. Never a
yeah,
bad idea.
yeah. So I do, but it's not. I guess it's out of habit. It's not like and it's also just like something like it's like putting something in place, but it's not like it's not a holding on to it too tightly. Does that make sense?
Yep, totally. Um, Next question. When you do that, and I have some thoughts on this, but I'm totally interested in hearing what you say. When you ask for like guidance from your spirit guides, do you differentiate like, okay, I'm going to ask my angels for this, I'm going to ask God for this, and turn to my spirit guides
Kind of.
for
I do. You know what's interesting? Like if it's a health thing, I ask my angels or God
health, like body
or
health?
Christ.
Okay.
I because I always do a little thing. I must sound like I'm like 110 years old, but I have like my little practice for all my chakras and yes, so I do. Yeah, so for physical stuff, for body stuff, angels and Christ light,
Okay.
God for everything. Guides are more like, I would say guides are um oh gosh, help me with my writing, like help me do, help me be, help me write, help me create, that type of
They
stuff.
literally guide you. Like that is
Yeah,
their name.
that's what I
So,
would love, right? Like why not?
yeah.
Right? Like, oh my God, if you could write something where you're being guided by your guides to share with the world, why not?
Amen.
I mean,
Yes, it's meant to be at that point. You're like, it's
yeah,
almost like is it from you? Is it being channeled? And like,
no,
let's share it through.
no, they don't want it from me. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
You're like a human pen, just writing it down for them.
They do not want it from me.
I do.
Thank you. There can be a little smidge of me in there, but I don't know. Okay, so we were going to talk about life after death today.
Totally. Okay. If anyone's listening and you would like to call in, 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. So give us a call. And I did have a couple people ask via Instagram message, do they need to give their name? No, no, you do not. You can call in anonymously, ask us any questions. We can pull a tarot card for you, whatever you desire. No, no question is too big or too small. We're here for you.
Awesome.
And yes, life after death.
Life after death. So I think this is interesting because several times, like I believe once somebody crosses over, it's easier to work on relationships. Like that's always been my go-to, and I help people see that. But I've had clients that even if their parents are with them and their parents are like, wanting to rattle off all these messages, one in particular, I remember she's like, I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to hear from him. And I remember, being kind of taken back, like, okay. But she literally, it's like she had 60 minutes. She was not going to waste her time on that. And so,
is it because she had a tumultuous relationship with a deceased individual?
I think she still had some unresolved issues. And so she didn't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Did the spirit say anything when they were shot down?
No, because I respected her. There, like I think I said one sentence from both of them, and we moved on because she didn't want to hear from him. But as you know, my mom died 8 days ago, and I understand that person now because
Really?
I am still like, okay, I'm not quite ready because our relationship was very complicated. I'm not quite ready because I still see her, and I know this is logic, but I still see her as she was as a parent.
Okay.
And because I still see her as she was as a parent, I'm not ready to open myself up to that energy. Does that make sense? Like, I don't see her as this, I'm not ready. I am, the little smidgen of Polly that people don't want to hear from. That person is not ready to see her mom as an expanded person, as an expanded being yet. I'm still like, I waffle with that.
Right. And you're allowed to do that. Like, you are human and you can do that. But that's fascinating to me.
Isn't that weird?
Do you feel like you're getting closer? Like, are you on a process of wanting?
I think it'll just happen. And that is one thing that I totally ask my guides and angels with, because I just feel like for me, there's a lot of healing going on. And I have to respect the process, but there is a lot of healing going on. And yeah, I wish it was, well, and it's not true because I'm not able to say that. So it's not, I was going to say, I wish it was easier, but there's part of me that's like, no, it's not supposed to be easier because this is part of the process.
Right. Yeah.
And everything, like all the weird stuff that happened that I'm holding on to made me who I am, but it's also so powerful in its story.
Yes. Yes.
That is the piece. That's okay. I mean, that's why it's okay for me to feel this complicated way, because it's so powerful in its story. And I know when I'm ready, she'll be there.
She will. And it'll be even more healing and fantastic. And I am excited for you guys to connect in this manner. So I think it's going to be good.
And you know what's interesting? I don't know who it was, but there was a medium that was talking one day and they were like, listen, if you didn't respect, say it's Aunt Martha. I always love talking about Aunt Martha. Say it's Aunt Martha. And maybe Aunt Martha wasn't somebody that you would have sought advice from. I can't remember who this was, but they were like, don't ask Aunt Martha on the other side. Don't expect her to be the directing you the way you want to, or you're not going to get good information from her now, which I think I have mixed opinions on that, because when I first connect with them, oftentimes they show me their personality, they show me their humanness, they show me their quirks and how they were. But then they take me to their expanded form, right? So I do believe Aunt Martha's expanded form can give you information.
Which is interesting, because then that makes me wonder, like, how much of our earthly personality do we take with us? Like, if I'm silly and just want to be funny and lighthearted, is that who I am on the other side? Or is it like, possibly I'm so limited right now with how I view people that when someone crosses over, my mind can't wrap itself around the idea of, when you're crossed over, things are so expansive. I'm still like unable to grasp that. So I have to like think of it as, oh, it's just your earthly self, only lovier or something like that.
But it's different, because the way they always come to me is I see how they were here, and they'll show me bizarre things. But then they also show me how they are on the other side. And sometimes they even show me like what they're, and I might have even brought this up on this podcast, but like one person in particular, she showed how she could see because she loved the beach. So she was sitting on the beach, but she could see, it was almost like she had 1,000 iPads put in front of her. She could see like 1,000 sunrises and sunsets at the same time. She could see everything. Like, she could see so many different things and understand and experience so many different things at once. And
Wow.
so that's what she was showing me. That wasn't her human self, but it still had strands of, does that make sense?
It
Strands of
does.
her human self.
Interesting. Yeah. So you can detect who you were as a human, but you're not 100% the same.
And somebody whose husband she just lost maybe 2 weeks ago. So I've talked to her several times since then. He doesn't want to go anywhere. His focus is her until she feels safe, and then he'll go. And he wants her to know that.
Really?
Yeah,
So
like
he's
his
like
focus is
lingering at
her.
home in their house?
Well, I don't know if at home in the house, but he's not moving on from where he's at until he knows she's safe, and he has to hear it from her. Like he wants to hear from her, I'm good now, you can go.
Wow. Is she anywhere near that?
No, but she'll get there.
Yeah. I love what I love about that is that there's still decisions to be made by us. We still have control. So you cross over, and it sounds
Yeah,
like there is a potential for you to still be connected and
yeah,
be with your loved ones. You're not just like sucked away to only like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
bless them with sprinkles. Like you can really be there still.
Yes. And you know what's so funny? I mean, because it's just so different from from my point of view, but I did ask my mom. So I asked her like a few months ago if she believed in life after death, because she used to. Like a long time, I'll say 20, 30 years ago, she did, maybe
Yeah.
just for a nanosecond. But so I asked her a few months ago, and she was more of an atheist. And then so right before well, like the day that she died, I asked her if she believed in life after death, like actually the way I phrased it, do you believe that your loved ones, animals, etc., will be waiting for you? And in my mom's true form, she's like, well, that sounds like wishful thinking. So not really. And I know. It's so funny.
Um, that sounds like wishful thinking, so no. Huh.
I think she wanted to, but she couldn't allow herself to believe it, right?
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, that is funny. But it does make me really excited and eager to hear of you guys
Yeah.
reconnecting when the time is right, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm like, oh my God, for her to be there and see the people that she might not have thought loved her, for her to be that, right, to see that,
Hmm.
that is amazing.
Yes, that's a feel good portion of the event for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, absolutely. So, I think it's so interesting. And who really knows, right? Like these are just like little pieces that I get and my understanding, which, as you know, I don't like to read and listen to a lot of other people's stuff, because I really depend on the messages that I get and my understanding, but it's still going through my poly filter.
Yeah, I love that. The poly filter. Yep.
Yeah. Just like you have your Kristin filter, right? Like, and so we don't really know until we're on the other side, but we can get a lot, right? Like
Mhm.
I feel pretty comfortable about a lot of the stuff that I've pieced together.
Mhm.
And then some of the messages that they give me, it's like there's no way there's no way I would know that unless somebody was sharing that with me. Like there's no way I would know that.
Absolutely. And I think about our friend Stan and how he wanted to connect with his wife so deeply. Like immediately, he just wanted to. And
Yeah, I
I
did.
love that.
Yeah.
Like there
Yeah.
was so
And
much
I love that
connection.
people have that belief, but guess what? You don't need a medium for it. You could do it yourself.
Mhm. You certainly can. And let's talk a little bit about that after break.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
Polly and I are going to go break. We'll be right back with Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures. Welcome back to Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures with Kristin and Polly. Polly, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm happy.
I know. I can feel it. Like you
Yeah,
really are.
I'm happy. I guess it's because I'm super excited about going to see my kids this weekend.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
I see the third one in 3 weeks, but I know.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
our topic this particular show is life after death. And what we ended right before break is Polly made mention that you do not, in fact, need a psychic medium to actually connect with a loved one who has crossed over. And first thing to say, side note, is this is why I began working with Polly years ago, is because she is not someone who's like, I'm a guru and you must follow me and always you need me to connect. That is not her vibe. Her vibe is very much like, you can do what I do. Here are some tips and lessons on how to do it. And her psychic development classes are key in moving forward with that. Those, I think, are probably some of the best courses in how to really recognize your own psychic medium skills and move forward trusting yourself. So for more info on the psychic development classes, go to pollywirum.com. But
Thank you, friend. That was
I
awesome.
love
Thanks.
it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I am very, I guess, cautiously aware, I would think, of, God, it was maybe a year and a half ago, when somebody reached out to me and his partner had just crossed over. I mean, I just like 48 hours before. And
Wow.
yeah, and he was older. And so to me, the alarm bells always go off because I hate to think about people that are just like so grief filled that they're just reaching out to psychic mediums and spending money. And I get it, because if you're so grief filled, you will do anything to talk to that person or to know that they're okay. Because isn't that what people want? They want to know that they're okay.
Yes.
Right? They want to know that they're okay. And so I get that. But I think you can go about doing it. And please, once you feel more stable, please reach out to somebody, but go by word of mouth, right? For a psychic medium, go by word of mouth. I don't know that it's, there are some that charge like $600 an hour, and then there are some that charge like $200 an hour. I don't necessarily think that there's that. I don't know the difference between, I don't know. I personally wouldn't anyhow. But when you are really grief filled, it is harder to receive.
Oh,
right?
Interesting. Okay.
Because you just are, you're so like, you're in your tunnel, right? You're so enclosed in your tunnel. And
Does it have anything to do with like, you know how like attracts like, so when you're vibing high, you're a magnet for other high vibe things.
And you're just open, right?
Okay.
When you're really grief filled or you're depressed, just think about, you're just like, closed off. So it's really hard to receive those messages. Even if somebody throws, if your loved one like puts a brick in front of your foot, it's still so hard because you might not see, you're looking for a certain thing. If it doesn't come that way, it doesn't, you're not going to believe it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's, so it can be really difficult when somebody's really, I'm talking about so grief filled that, it's like depression, right? It's really hard, but it does, but then there are other people that are able to, they believe prior to them crossing, they believe. And so they're already open and kind of looking like maybe their mom said they'll come back as a bluebird or whatever. So they're already kind of like looking for that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So someone who's trying to connect with a loved one who's recently crossed over, the first step is like heal a bit, like get to a place where you feel more open. And that oftentimes is not right out of the gate. Like it takes a bit to actually mourn and then feel comfortable and confident that life is going to go on, and get to a place where you're like, I don't desperately need it, but I would like it and it would be great.
But also, while you're healing, listen to the music you used to listen to together. Do some activities that you used to do together. Talk to them. chances are they're listening.
I love that. Absolutely talk to them. Like as if you were in the car driving and they were right there and you could
Yeah.
say all the things you're feeling. And it feels very empowering to do that. And you
Yeah.
never know like what you're going to get in return. Are you going to get a big feeling of love? Like what
Yeah.
kind of connection are you going to get? I have a good friend who her dad died maybe 3 years ago. Um, Not unexpected. So she was able to travel from California back to her home state and say her personal goodbyes. And she was very grieving and has really gotten to a place where we talk about it a lot, like how to connect with others and how to just pray and feel people. She was raised very like hardcore evangelical Christian, and that as life went on didn't really resonate with what she felt was a good way to connect with God and things. Fast forward, just last weekend, she had a dream that her dad was there and he tapped her on the shoulder and she turned around and he was like, "What's been going on?" And he didn't really articulate it, but he was like, and so she
Yeah.
told him about her child who had graduated and what she was doing and everything. And then she gave him a hug. And then she woke up and her face was just wet with tears, but it wasn't sad tears. It was like the happiest of tears. And she truly felt like she connected with him. And I believe she did. And I love that story for so many reasons. Like it's
Yeah,
just
I do
such a
too.
feel-good story.
And they do come to you in dreams. I mean, for a lot of people, that's the best way.
Hmm. Have you ever
Um,
had anyone connect with you in a dream?
I don't think so.
I in college I had a dear friend and she passed away from a random type of cancer. And all our sorority sisters, and we were in our 30s at this point with like little kids. We Her name is Stephanie, and she was very like pink and sparkly, like a dream Barbie. And so she was a stay-at-home mom and decorated her laundry room, painted it hot pink, had leopard print wallpaper, a crystal chandelier. And it wasn't a big laundry room, but she was like, if I'm going to do laundry, I'm going to do it and have some fun. So we put together this campaign and it was called Pink Laundry. And still now, 15 years later, it's a fundraiser we do every year.
Oh, cool.
And I had like a laundry closet and I painted it pink and put like a decal of a diamond chandelier onto the wall. And that night, I had a dream of her. And
Oh,
she was standing in front of me, handing me things. And I was taking them and I was like, what is this? I looked down and it was dirty clothes. And then I was like, is this laundry? And she just looked at me and we both started laughing. And I really do feel like that was her way of coming in and kind of acknowledging, like, I see what you did.
I love that. That is so cool. I do. I love that. I also like, write to them. Like maybe people don't want to talk out loud, or maybe you do, maybe you don't. You can also write. You can sit down and write to them, like
Mhm.
just like you were talking to them. Just do something where you feel connected to them. Just do.
Yes.
And and I was going to say there's something funny about this because I was thinking earlier and it didn't feel quite right. So I don't know if it's somebody that's listening, but say you and your person used to watch a game show together. And so if you watch that game show, it could either make you feel really, really sad because they're not here, but you could also turn it around and be like, watch the game show and just pretend that they're next to you.
Yes. Yep.
So it's that energy of it's being able to bring some awareness of possibility into whatever you're doing. I think that that's the piece of the connection, if that
Yes.
makes sense.
And again, like very intentional. So when you do, for example, the example you gave, like when you do sit down to watch the game show, just be intentional about this is what it used to feel like. Be really aware
Yeah,
and present on that particular vibe. When you go to bed and you want to connect with them in a dream, be intentional about it. Invite them to connect with you in
yeah,
the dream world.
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because so this reading I did not long ago, and the husband was coming through, and I was like, he wants you to get. It was like I was seeing a heart necklace, but a bigger heart necklace, and I'm like, I see it in a jewelry box, but he wants me to say toolbox, that use the toolbox, but I'm saying I see it in a jewelry box. But the funny thing was, what did she use for her jewelry box?
A toolbox.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny. But you know what? That actually is practical too. I've seen people use like a tackle box, toolbox. So
yes, but she so much believes, and so it's so easy for her because her husband, her mother, whatever, they're all right there because she so believes, and she also knows that they're with her. So the more you, I guess that's the moral of the story, is the more you believe in the possibility, the easier it is for you to receive the messages.
oh, absolutely. 100%. That is so true. Yeah. You have to think it could be possible and
Yeah.
then really embrace it before it happens easily, I would say.
And then I think it's also important to say that if you pay for a reading and you want to hear from Aunt Martha, but you don't want to hear from Cousin Bobby, guess what? It might be Cousin Bobby that shows up. It might not be Aunt Martha.
This is true. Sometimes you send the invitation and yet an uninvited guest appears.
Yeah. And so you just have to be like, okay, well, maybe Cousin Bobby has a message that I need to, and it's going to help me heal.
Yes. Yes. And it's like you said before break, it maybe Cousin Bobby wasn't the person you would lean on here in real life, but perhaps Bobby's perspective and awareness and information he has to share is a little bit enlightened on the other side.
Yes, because you've heard me say that in particular, people who committed suicide, they are almost frantic in the way they want to come across and share messages with people.
Wow.
They want you to know, usually that they're sorry, but that they are okay. And they are almost frantic in the way they share that. Like, it's really important to them that you know certain things. And so if Cousin Bobby did that, that's why Cousin Bobby's coming through, because Cousin Bobby really wants to come through and share those messages.
You know what, though? That makes sense because suicide is such a quick act of, and everyone is feeling low when they do it, obviously. Yeah. So once they're clear on the other side and they're thinking straight and they're enlightened, then yes, they want to come through with that. So that, to me, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's so interesting. And I am a medium, but am I like, this supercharged medium? Is that all I do? No. But do they come through to me? Yes. But
I think you're supercharged, Polly.
Oh, well, thank you. I actually refer, like when people get readings from me, but they have a loved one that they want, I refer them to another medium. I have a go-to medium that I'm friends with, and I refer them sometimes. Like if I feel like, okay, I'm not doing enough, I refer them to my friend.
See, and that yet again is another reason why I feel like you function with integrity within the industry, is you have no problem saying, okay, here's how you can do this, or here's another option for you with someone else.
Because look, we are here to serve, right? Mm-hmm. And so if there's any doubt in my mind that I am not doing, if they could get a better connection with somebody else, then I share them with that, because why not?
Absolutely.
So you've lost grandparents. Yes. And friends. So how do you do you ever just decide, oh, I feel like reaching out, to your friend? Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel like, today I'm going to reach out and talk to her and see how she's doing?
There are certain things that remind me of her quite a bit. And so I always give her a little hi and hello and how you doing and stuff like that. So I do like connecting with her, and it's always just a very jovial, happy vibe. Yeah. Her license plate in college, she drove a little white Celica, a Toyota Celica, and the license plate said, really? Just, that was it. And so anytime I see that word randomly, I always think of her.
I love that.
And oddly enough, I see it quite a bit. I do see it quite a bit.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'll tell you one funny thing that's happened. Yes. But again, I didn't give it much weight because I'm still in the let's wait and see. But I was texting somebody, and I had just gotten back from outside and did a response text and stayed on that text with, like sent that text, but then I was still on that same link or whatever.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I wanted to text again, I'd be fired up and I could go. Put my phone in my pocket, was, doing house stuff. And I pulled it out and looked. And you know how usually if you put your phone in your pocket, you'll have like XYG, X, right? Like things. Okay. So when I looked, what it said on my phone was my mother, my mom. And then it had the weird letters. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
What did I do? I just like deleted it and thought, okay, maybe because I'm in that space of
yes,
maybe.
Yep. This is funny for me to witness, like very, very human Polly.
Yeah. And
I didn't think you were human initially.
Well, no, but you know what? It's like, yeah, maybe.
Which
maybe it is. I'm going to wait.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
You know what? That's your prerogative. You have all the power to wait.
Yeah, because I don't know. That's the thing. It's like, maybe I won't, maybe. That's the thing is like, okay, here's my fear about it. Is I want to be able to connect with her as I know she really is, this evolved person. I don't want to connect with the person, and I'm using the words, let me backtrack, evolved being. I don't want to connect with how she was here. I don't want to connect with that.
Right.
And that is why I'm waiting. I just I don't want to connect with that. And that might be highly offensive to some people listening, because they might think, that's a horrible way to talk about your mom or whatever. But I don't want to connect with it.
And I feel like that's quite common just in the way that family relationships work and family dynamics. There's up and downs and, butting of heads and feelings that are hurt and things that are done and all the stuff in between. So I do not think that your position right now is uncommon. I feel like this is a very normal place to be when you're healing from all the things.
But what a gift to be able to connect with her and have her still identifiable, but joyful, because she found out it's not just wishful thinking.
Exactly.
Okay. So when that happens, however that unfolds, that will be lovely.
Oh, completely. And I feel like you'll connect with her sooner rather than later, because
I don't know, Kristin. I have my wall up.
You do?
I totally do. I don't know.
Is she coming in and then sliding off of you?
I'm not even paying attention. I just have my wall up.
But you know what? Walls
others can come through. I know. So I'm sharing a very whatever, and I'm sure for some people it is offensive or whatever to some people to hear this, but it's true. I mean, it's just it's life. It's life.
It's not like you chose to put this is the way it is, and it won't always be this way, but this is the way it is.
Today, this is where we're at. Maybe in 2 weeks, who knows? Who knows?
Ooh, okay.
Maybe years, Kristin, don't get your hopes up.
I've got nothing but time.
We all do. Okay, we got to pull a card.
We do. For the energy of the week, shall we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, friend. Yes, one day I'm sure I'll have something delightful to share. Well, I frequently have something delightful, but I'll have something that will.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love this card. Oops.
Wait, I can't see. It looks like a big angel.
It is.
Page of Angels?
Page of Angels,
Lovely.
mysticism. And I really do feel like this encompasses everything we've talked about today. And the message is you can connect. You can be your own inner mystic. You can connect with your higher self, your spirit guides, those who have crossed over, in your own time. Connect with whomever you want, whenever you want. And it's all about you having the power. So it's not like, don't be afraid to go to sleep because someone's going to talk to you. No, it's whatever you want. If you're ready, it'll come. If you're not ready, it won't come. But it's very much about being open, being ready, and being intentional. That's what I'm
And
doing.
you can put the blocks up.
You certainly can. And there's nothing
close the
wrong with that.
door. And that's also for people who, if they connect with something that scares them, close the door.
Yes.
Don't keep it open.
Completely.
You have the power.
You do.
Close the door. Open the door.
Really do feel like sometimes we forget we have the power. We forget we're in control.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's see what card I have. Oh, so cute. 3 of Cups, celebration, gaiety, happiness, joy, love. This week, look for the areas that are working. Look for the areas that deserve celebration. Don't take things for granted thinking that, yeah, I expected this to happen. I knew it would, moving on. No, if there's something that's like, really grab those moments and celebrate them, feel them, put them, connect with that energy because it grows inside of you. You expand. So keep just, feel the love, feel the joy, recognize your wins in life. Recognize your wins, which like the graduation. But I also really felt, yes, we have time. I really felt pulled. I wrote this down earlier that I think I would like to send, and anybody listening, for us to each take a moment sometime today or after the show to send, love for people, for families that are struggling, because whether it's a family that's lost somebody or you're just really worried about a family member, take the time to send prayers of peace and love and light. And we don't have to know who they are. We can just send this energy to everybody who needs that boost, that feeling of love when there's difficulty in the family.
And that's so powerful and beneficial. Like just taking some love out of you and putting it intentionally and sending it to whomever needs it is so powerful. And you do receive it. One of my favorite things about your retreats is when we gather in a circle, someone goes in the center and we are so filled with love and we send it to them, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And that's smaller scale, obviously, but it feels so good. So we are approaching the end of the show now. Polly, tell us how someone can connect with you.
Just from your kitchen, just say, I want to connect. No, you can.
That's step one. Additionally.
And then an action step would be pollywirum.com. And then you can find me on Your Tango and Eden Magazine.
Yay. Yes. And you can find me Instagram. We're on Instagram. So Instagram, I'm at Garage Pilates, website, garagepilates.net. Polly's on Instagram, Polly_Wirum. And then the show, we have our own Instagram account where you can follow and we'll kind of tell you what the next episode will be about and update you on things. And that would be at truth.wellness.psychic. There you have it.
Okay. Well, I hope everybody has many high vibe moments between our next show. I'm super excited. Share your high vibe moments. Yes. Send us a little text because we love those.
We do. We really do.
Not? What's not to love about them?
Absolutely. All right. I will talk to you later, my friend.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye. Thanks for calling into Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures. We are psychic life coaches, Polly and Kristin, taking your calls at 1-800-930-2819 every second and fourth Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com. To work with us individually, visit pollywirum.com and garagepilates.net. Follow us on Instagram at truth.wellness.psychic and at Polly_Wirum and at Garage Pilates. We can't wait to share the next episode with you.